So now it's time to create the table. And to create the table, first of all, you need to head on over to localhost. And before you do so, make sure that your Apache web server and also your PHP MySQL database is running. Both are running here. Make sure that they are running, and then head on over to localhost. And then in your localhost in PHP you need to select the database that we have created earlier, which is called movies_API. Click on it, and now we can create the table that we want. There are two ways to create a table. The first way, which is easy, which is by just using the user interface here, by typing the name of the table here and then specifying the number of columns. And it's very simple. This way is very simple. The other way is by using SQL. So I'm going to be using SQL. I'm going to click here on SQL, and then I'm going to zoom in. Let me zoom in so that you can see. Before I type anything, make sure that here it says run queries on database movies_API. In other words, make sure that you have selected your database, your movies_database. So in order to create a database using SQL, you need to use the following command. Create, and then table, and then the name of the table, I'm going to be naming it movies with an S, because it must be plural, and then brackets, and then semicolon. And then inside those brackets, what we want to do is that we want to specify the columns that we want to have. So the columns are going to be, the first column is going to be the ID. Each single movie must have an ID. Therefore, we need here to say ID. And that ID is going to be an integer. It must be an integer. And then it cannot be null. Therefore, I'm going to say here not null. Not null. Meaning that it will never be null. There will always be an ID for each single movie we insert. And then auto increment. You need to specify the ID as auto increment, because it means that auto increment means that the ID is going to increase each time you insert a movie. Therefore, each single movie is going to have a unique ID. And then comma, and then the second field, or the second column. The second column is going to be the title. Each movie is going to have a title, and that title is going to be var character, car here for character, CHAR, and then the maximum characters is, let's say, 255. And it's also going to be not null, because a movie must have a title. We cannot insert a movie without a title. The third column that we want is the story line. So the story line is going to be a text. It's going to be a text, and there is no need to insert the storyline, because we don't always need to insert a story line. And then comma, and then the next column that we want is the language, which is going to be also var car, but this time it's going to be only 100 characters, because the language is going to be just one word, usually one word. And then the fifth is going to be the genre. So the genre also is going to be var car, and it's going to be, let's say, 255. And then we want also the release date. The release date can be a date or character. I'm going to be using character because we don't need to use a full date. Instead, we only need a date of 4 digits. We only want to specify the year in which the movie has been released or produced. So here I'm going to say 100, just 100 characters. And then we also want box office, the box office revenue, how much money the movie got. And it's going to be float, because it can be 1 million, it can be 1,500,000. So it can be, it's better to be float. And then we need the run time. The run time is going to be also var car, because it's going to be just a string. And finally, we need the stars, which is the how many stars the movie got. It's gonna be a number from 0 to 10. Therefore, I'm gonna say float. And you can here say you can here specify the number of digits. So the number of digits is gonna be 4, but not all the 4 digits are gonna be on the left side. I'm gonna say here comma and then 2, meaning that the number here that's going to be specified to the stars is going to be a number that has 4 digits, but only 2 digits on the left side. So, for example, 9.5, 9.50, meaning that the movie got 9.5 stars out of 10. If a movie gets, let's say, 4.3 out of 5, it's going to be 0, 4, or just 4.3 out of 10. So the maximum number of digits is going to be 4, and the maximum number for the digits after the point is going to be 2. So before the point on the left side, the maximum number is going to be 2, and on the right side, the maximum number is going to be also 2. So make sure that you have here 4, 2. Finally, we need here to say, we need to give this table a primary key, and the primary key is going to be obviously the ID. A primary key means that each single movie can be identified by its ID. So the ID is the column that's going to let us identify each single movie, because it's always going to be unique, because we here say primary key. Finally, click on go here, and it's going to create that table. Here it says MySQL returned an empty result set here, and then here it says create table and the complete SQL command that we have typed. And here query took this number of seconds to execute. So this is how you can create a table. And if you click on movies and then check the database, you will find that we have now a movies table. If you click on it, it's going to display the structure of that movie. Click on structure here, and it's going to display the structure. It's very important to double check the structure. Make sure that here there is a key displayed just next to the ID, and make sure that it's auto increment, and also make sure that it's not null here, no, and also the title here varchar 255 storyline text, etc. So now we have created the movies table.